mind so I can be free and absorb the sound that keep me round. To do something to you like jumping a Mercedes on the highway, doing over 80. Got me, I wish music could adopt me. Just like music, I got the music, I got the music. Your music makes me wanna sing. The music, music is my heart and soul. Play precious.
Eric Sermon, he's so cold for making that shit because like nobody's ad-lib game is crazier than Marvin Gaye. Where you going? After you leave Marvin Gaye, where you going? He made that whole song just off of Marvin Gaye ad-libs. Just the ad-libs. He ain't even, that's not, no verse from Marvin there. It's your boy Willie B. We back again. I'm on your ass. Today we got the XClan. Heard of the XClan, but I've never heard any record from the XClan. Legend. It's kind of a legendary underground group. Really good rappers know this group. Out of Brooklyn, New York. We're Brooklyn. So they started off with 4 members originally. You got Brother J, Professor X, the overseer, Paradise, the architect, Sugar Shaft, the rhythm provider. Now they still perform, but they got different members. But I think Brother J is still the main member of that crew. 1990 debut studio album from this group XClan. To the East, Blackwards. I like that. I like the name of that. Let's move Blackwards, not backwards. I always move backwards, and I hope you do the same. This was released under 4th and Broadway Records and Island Records. That's the venture. So their producer squad is all in-house. Don't leave me alone on this XClan excursion. You know what we doing on this side.
Freedom or death, you shall all be moved. Vanguardists, this is protected by the red, the black, and the green.
So off rip, we get a George Clinton sample, which I played this song on the show before. I love the sample. It's one of my jams. You can't go wrong on that. Talking very you can tell these brothers are very intelligent and they know history. They're speaking about brothers in the civil rights movement who have passed and keeping that spirit alive. You know, now we have the internet, so we can research a lot of the history that's been, you know, hidden from us. But before then, you know, a young nigga just listening to this record, it's like, oh, food. You like, damn, word. But these are knowledgeable brothers. They read a book or two. Okay. I mean, this is, you know, this is Rakim. Rakim tore this beat a whole new ass. So any rapper would love to just rap on this. It's good for a cypher beat. A good rapper can't fuck this up. Talking in these universal tongues, you know. The rhymes on here are not like, they're not secular rhymes. These niggas is not talking about fucking bitches and whatever. You know, they're literally just explaining kind of their knowledge of the cosmos and how, you know, the sun and the moon reacts to us, and real knowledge just of like how we interact with our environment, the food that we eat, and how it coincides with our attitudes and everything. They're really talking deep shit. Rakim is the building block for some shit like that, though. I love it because science and hip hop has always been, they're best friend. They're interwoven. They're the one and the same. It's a science to create hip hop music. It's a science to create music anyway. So it's beautiful to hear him expound his knowledge on it, because I think a lot of artists hold that back because it'd be super smart artists, but you don't want to hear no super smart shit from them. You just want, give me my song and get the fuck out. You know.
With the hand in the candy dish, they're full of mint. Government taste the thieves' descent. I heard you were a prankster, ultimate gangster, daytime shooter, nighttime shankster.
Shit is fly. It's jiggy. It catch you under the chin. You was like, ooh, I wasn't even expecting that. African sounds in it, but it's very subtle. You know, it's not taking over. It's very subtle. It's very poignant. It's on purpose. I ain't gonna front. This shit connects right to my soul. I really like this song, and I'm just hearing it, you know, and I feel like this is gonna be a record that even grows on me the more I hear it. Dope shit. It's very tribal. You got a music bone in your body. You should be listening to this stuff like, if you got a little ass on you, should be twerking that little thing.
Aggressive, but we weren't coming, but it seems you made an error. Breaks in the millwork, systematic terror has arrived. Cornered by the order, checkmate sucker, not a move, game's over.
Cool. It's got a little rock undertone too, so it got some rock guitars on, like, so yeah, they talking that no justice, no peace on this record. They was just chanting that, in the light of George Floyd being killed, which is this is my first trial. They nationally televising this. This is the first one I'm really gonna like be following. I cannot even see how you defend this. Open and shut case. To look at how they picking these jurors is very interesting, man. It opened my eye. I didn't even really know how the whole system of trial works. So, and this is 1990, my nigga. It's 30 years ago, and we talking the same shit. You know, I was just hollering at my grandmother, and my grandmother, she's north of 75. And it's like the same shit. She says the same shit. It's a pivotal moment right now. This is big time change in a short period of time.
I'm going backwards to the east, Tweedledee, Tweedledum. B5 come to the tribal dum. I'm sitting on my temple, just plucking silly mortals. Speaking peace of mind to my many sons and daughters.
At the baseline. I told y'all about baselines. You get a baseline right, that vibration just gets me. It's called verbal milk. It's about having this slippery, smooth flow, and it just being effortless. And he's displaying that Kumo D type shit. It's like elevated though, and continue. It's one of my favorite flows. I love to go into the super cool nigga flow because it's butter. Just a simple song though, nothing to get too wild about, but it ain't gonna turn you off.
Funk upon a time, and the days of bad and glorious, the tri-dimensional houses of energy.
I love it when they make these little words out of shit, like they don't say backward, they say blackward. Funk upon a time is very like everything is Afrocentric, and I love it. I love those details about this group because it kind of just encapsulate all that they are. Really. Why must I be like that? Why must I chase the cat? Nothing but dog in me. They on their old school sample shit. Cause that's family cookout house, music that you hear just growing up, family reunion, the Bid Whiz game, all of that. I just learned fully how to play Bid Whiz now too. It's gonna be a problem. I'm sharpening my tools. I'm still a rookie. Ooh, this guy's really talking spacey on this joint, man. He is talking above motherfuckers' heads. Doing some Lupe shit right now. You know what I mean? But I mean, Lupe is later, obviously. But that's who I can compare it to a newer school audience.
The name, Professor X, the overseer, overseeing Blackwatch, the messenger group, the XClan, the messenger.
Intro of this joint really take you there. It take you to like, the back room of a militant black camp. It almost reminds me of watching Judas and the Black Messiah when I listen to this record. It seemed like it could be. It's records on here that definitely could have been the soundtrack for that. The whole basis of what Black Lives Matter should be. And I just was opened up to the thing that some people take that as like when black people some people take that as when black people say that all lives don't matter, and it's like that was never at question, and that's the discrepancy with that. And some people just get easily offended when talking about it, and it's like you gotta manage your energy. The country has showed a history of if we gotta bring it all the way back to slavery, we can, but obviously it's been a history of Black lives not mattering. That's the only reason why if somebody say have a problem with it, you're like, why do you have a problem with that? If you don't have a problem, if you have a problem with that, you don't know history. That's really what it is. Because maybe you didn't know that black people were enslaved, or maybe you don't believe that. It's either one or two of those things. You don't know it or you don't believe it. Because anybody who know it and believe it, they don't have any contest to this type of energy.
Descending from the tribes of Africa, inspired by the great black leader. Vainglorious, this is protected by the
red, black, green flag. He shouts it out a lot. So this is Pan-Africanism thought process. So if you're familiar with like a Dr. Umar Johnson, this is kind of like the music that would support that ideology because they shout out Garvey and all of that. And it's big points of that I agree with too. But when it comes to the philosophies, you're talking about Garvey versus Du Bois, King versus Malcolm. I'm so in the middle because I see the need for both ideologies. You know what I mean? And there's no absolute. I live in the gray. And it's unfortunate that everybody, well, I can't say it's unfortunate that everybody don't see it to it. That you know, everybody seeing the world the way they see it makes the world as great as it is. So we have to appreciate it. Unfortunately, it pisses us off because we all just want everybody to, when it comes time, you want everybody to think like you. But you can't turn that shit on and off. People think the way they think. It ain't like just when it come to this thing now that everybody just gonna think that way.
Past is now brought to the rhyme face. From the scroll, straight to the verses. God to gods, from gods to man. Many kings, many leaders, a fist from a hand.
So they bring the vibes back. They keep the vibes. These were the songs that were popular. So that's how hip hop builds. You know, they build off of what was popular and bring it to a new space. Got a random thought. I wonder who, like right now at family functions, I know it's hard to tell right now because of COVID, but right before COVID, who controlled the music at the function? Is it the person whose house it is, or do they give that reign up? I'm not sure. It depends on who's musically inclined and who they close to. You know, this is always a moment who plays the music, who's DJing the thing. Because, you know, it's a lot of non-professional DJs that are tasked with the project of DJing a party. Usually, what happens is the people at the party they hit at me. What's this bullshit he playing? Dog, hold on. Tell him to play this. Niggas quick to tell you what to play. Niggas tell professional DJs what to play. So they definitely gonna just take the phone from you.
Government, writing, mathematics, astrology, philosophy, inventions, culture, sense of reality, speech techniques, not to mention the tolerance of ignorance.
I love this Black Watch thing they've created, you know, because it really is that, man. When we see the amount of black bodies that's killed, you know, it looks like it's a personal attack. So now we have to go on that type of watch. That's why you say Black Lives Matter. I have to tell you that because it's at a big rate. Now that's not saying that to everybody because obviously everybody don't just kill black people. It's saying it to the people that it applies to and the people that it could potentially apply to. I mean, he's really talking powerful, man. He's speaking on um, the things that Pan-Africanism protects and why the community is important because they protect, you know, black interests. You know, we have a lot of our black pioneers and ancestors who created things, but white people took the patent of it because slaves weren't able to own anything. They weren't in control of the system of owning shit and what we all agreed worked. You know, we weren't a part of that. You know, it's still in the Constitution, 3/4 of a man to today, like right now. So it's like a logical, knowledgeable overhaul has to happen, and they're explaining that here. And I mean, we're just dealing with a nation of people who get it and people who just don't. I hate to say just dumbass people and smart people because that's too black and white. That's not enough for gray. You know, I don't think anybody's dumb or I don't think anybody's smart. I think it's just degrees of shit. But I feel like we gotta up our sensibility of nuance. Everybody has to be more detailed and aware. Even myself. I'm not just preaching. Okay, Eminem definitely is a baby of this group. I get it now because he shout them out straight up. And that line, he said, with a key, sissies. I never knew what that line meant when Eminem said it in that song, but he was directly quoting XClan. Shout out to Eminem. They knew that they gave you some heavy knowledge. And people who give knowledge, they know how to do it. You know, they give you the dose, and then they fall back. They're like, nigga, we just living. But I want you to know that. But nigga, where the weed at? I swear, I just think of Mariah Carey as soon as I hear this shit. Man, shout out to Mariah Carey. I gotta remember how dope she really is. And really, if she wanted to, she can get back in that studio with the right people and bang out another one on your ass at any point, really. Interesting sound they put in the back of this sample. And I like the way they broke it down. The beat is really cool. And they doing what they've been doing the whole album. Album concept and theme. Powerful. It's a Pan-Africanism album made by, you know, served by way of Brooklyn, by way of hip hop. Beautiful. really beautiful messaging and strong and powerful messaging, just for not the times that were 1990, but today in this department. I feel like this is an album that if somebody made this today, I would be like, yo, okay, they know what's they know what's going on. Artwork is very on purpose, man. I like the way it's sectioned out. It's because these are very smart brothers. So you dealing with sacred geometry with the way the angles are on this, but it's showing our forefathers. You know, a lot of black pillars in the world that may get overlooked, and some get looked at. You know, they got Malcolm X on there, and Harriet Tubman, just anybody in black culture and black history that moved the needle for our culture to get the same treatment as anything, to just be able to participate in the dream of America, the land of the free. And then it take you back to, like, you know, the mothership, you know, George Clinton and the Funkadelic, you know, back in that type of era. Then they keep it G and keep it hip hop with the Pimp Mobile just in the middle of the joint because they just rolling through it, you know, going Blackwards. Production was dope, and they just understand, they get it. There was no fuck ups for real. No super like hit records that you just have to hear again, but all food, all hip hop, feels good. Pretty much every record will make you reminisce. It'll make you think. You know, it's an experience. You would think from this group you're gonna hear super hard hitting crazy stuff, but like they get the simplicity. They get it. You know, it's not like the production is gonna be this super hard hitting Public Enemy screeching stuff. They subtly bring those elements in. It was heavy samples, similar to listening to George Clinton and them boys get down. Creativity is really high for me. I'm gonna go with a 9. All right, so replay value, I'm gonna go with a 9 because the messaging on this joint is powerful and it's urgent and it's needed. And the beats are really high up to par. The only reason why I'm taking that point away is because, you know, it is songs where you're gonna be cool on, you know, but the messaging is so strong that you'll listen to them. Impact to the game and the culture is very big. They fathered a lot of people who come after them. You know, they really put it down because they're so smart. You know, this group comes in, I hadn't really heard somebody so intelligent. And it seems like they mastered certain concepts, man, that they could bring it to art. This is like writings of the Bible right here. Very early scribes of the Bible. Lyrics, these dudes have taken flows from the past and elevated it. They're definitely in that new age of space as far as lyrics. And then what they're talking about is kind of beyond the time that they're in. Not even kind of, it is beyond the time that they're in, because this is shit that I had to learn, and people still learning, you know, like, and learning how to apply that to your existence. Like, it's literally a lot of food for thought on this motherfucker. So this album scored a 65, which, classic, baby. That's a classic. Nothing short of a classic, man. And that's any way you slice it. This was cool. Yo, shout out to the Clan, bro. Shout out to Brooklyn, New York. Yo, shout out to 4th and Broadway. Shout out to Pan-Africanism. Shout out to ideologies. Shout out to you for watching this shit. Nobody ever told you this, man. I love you. And y'all be safe out here, man. I know it's tough. I know it's scary at times, but remember, it's a game with real consequences, but you still have to play your turn. So show up, baby.